Seems like someone is having some issues regarding differentiation. But trust me, in this video, I'll make sure to get rid of all the issues you may have regarding this specific topic. Don't trust me? Then just keep watching the video. Well, before I begin, make sure to like our video and subscribe to our channel for more contents. And without further wasting your time, let's start the video. So before starting or learning about any new topic, make sure to understand its meaning. Like, why are we doing this topic? What's the purpose? Understand it, and then I assure you, after you understand the meaning of the topic and why do we do this math and stuff, it will enhance your understanding, and it will make your work more efficient. You will be able to learn the maths and concept really easily and in a more efficient manner. So my first question is, what is differentiation? Differentiation is a way of finding how fast something is changing. So imagine you're driving a car and you want to know how fast you're going at a specific moment. Differentiation helps us to figure that out. Well, and also differentiation tells us the steepness of a line. Differentiation is purely based on the graph, and what graph I mean is this. In a graph, there's always the x-axis and a y-axis, and this is the line I'm talking about. People also call it gradient, or you can just call it line. It doesn't really matter right now. So basically, if you wanna know the speed at this point, you will have to differentiate this point. That's what differentiation really is. It tells us it is a way of finding how fast something is changing. For instance, speed, or for instance, it can be anything actually. But if you want to know how fast a thing is changing, you will have to differentiate it. Now, without further wasting your time, let's dive into the materials of doing the math. Let's start with the first math, and that is this. Oh, by the way, I'm doing this math in a laptop right now. That's why I'm using a mouse to do this. So if the handwriting is terrible, don't judge me. Before doing any math, learn this formula. Why did I write 1? I shouldn't have written 1, because right now it's time to learn the formula. And the formula is y equals to a x to the power n. Now, what is a? A is any value that is in front of x. Any value that is in front of x will be called a, and x is just a constant. It is just alphabet. It can be n, it can be x, it can be m, z, p, b, whatever. And n is the power. This is the power. This can be any power, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't really matter. So this is the main formula. And y is the equation. By the way, this is like an equation because there's an equal to sign, and y equals to a x to the power n. And if there's nothing between this a and x, that means it's multiplication. So let's dive into the first math, because it will be truly helpful to make you guys understand how to differentiate. So the first math is y equals to 6 x to the power 5. Here, tell me what is a. If you say 6, then you're right. And what is n? N is 5. And what is x? X is x, right? So now what do I have to do is rewrite this formula. Now, what I mean is, let's go to the next process of this formula, and that is n times a x times x n minus 1 bracket bracket. Give brackets if it helps you, and for some people they don't really need to do give brackets if they understand this completely. By the way, this is x. I know my x and the multiplication sign seems similar, but just know this is x. So basically, the power you have to multiply the power with a, and once you have done multiplying the power with a, you need to reduce the power by 1. This is 1. You need to reduce the power by 1. So let's do this. What is the power? The power is 5. So 5 times a. What is a? A is 6 x, and what power was 5? So 5 minus 1. What is the answer? The answer is 30 x to the power 4. Oh, by the way, another important matter, make sure to write dy by dx when differentiating, because it is important. If you don't write dy by dx when differentiating, you might not get any marks. And by the way, another thing, if you find me stuttering in English or pausing at moments, just know that I'm not fluent in English yet, because I don't usually talk with people in English because I live in Bangladesh, so people usually talk in Bangla. After a month maybe it will improve, but anyways, so this is the value 30x to the power 4. And then let's do another math. Well, let's write the second math. The second math for this video will be y equals to 20 to the power x to the power 4. Do you remember what to do next? Okay, well, what you have to do next is multiply the power with a. So 4 times 20, then decrease the power by 1. 4 minus 1. What is the answer? The answer is, oh boy, such bad handwriting, 4 minus 1. So the answer is, why do I keep forgetting to write dy by dx? My bad. Dy by dx. So the answer is 4 times 20 is 80. 80 x to the power 3. Now that's done. I hope by these two maths you were able to understand the concept on how to really differentiate. So then let's move on to the next math. The next math is going to be y equals to 7. Okay, first of all tell me, do you find x over here, and do you find any power? No, right? So there's only a. This is a. So if equation has only a and it doesn't have any x or power, then just know the answer will always be 0, because you don't really have anything to work with. So keep this in mind. Then this was number 3. Then let's move on to number 4. So what's number 4? Number 4 is going to be a fraction number, 1 by 3 x to the power square plus 3 by 6. Such a bad 3. 3 by 6. I truly wish to buy a tab as soon as possible, but right now I don't really have that money to buy it. So remember what you have to do. 1 times 3 times 2. Then decrease the power by 1, so the power will be 1, and then plus 3 times 6. 3 divided by 6 times 2, because the power is 2 over here, and then you have to increase the power by 1, so the answer will be 1. So what is the final value? 1 times 2 is 2 by 3 x plus, what is 3 times 2? It is 6 times 6. 6 divided by 6 by x. So what is the final answer? 2x by 3 plus x, because 6 divided by 6 is 1, right? And that's your fourth math, I presume. Yeah, it should be a fourth math. And now what I'm going to show you is, right, the final math. And this math is going to be the most important math, because so basically you cannot differentiate the equation I'm going to give you right now right away. And why? I'm going to tell you. Because, so what is the equation? The equation is y equals to x cubed minus 3x plus 8 divided by x square. So what is the issue over here? So the issue is this: you cannot have x square or x in a fraction. You have to keep it in a linear sequence. So basically you have to keep the x side by side. And how to do that? You have to rearrange this formula. How are you going to rearrange this formula? You have to write x cube minus 8x, and then the issue is here, right? So do you know that 1 by x can also be written as x inverse, right? So this is inverse, right? This is inverse, or you can call it reciprocal. You have to inverse it and then rearrange it like this. Because x has the power of 1 over here, that is why we are writing x minus 1. If x had power 3, then we would write x minus 3. And since 1 is in front, there we are going to write 1 here, because in the upper uh, numerator 1 is written. So over here, what is the numerator? The numerator is 8, right? So we will have to write plus 8 and then keep x at it is, then and then write minus 2, because the power is the power is 2 over here. Since we are going to keep it in a linear sequence, we have to arrange it this way, and now we can differentiate it. How? The power is 3 in the first sequence, so 3x, 3 times 1 is 3, and then 3 minus 1, because power is 2 going to decrease by 1, and then minus 8x is going to be just 8, because x minus 1 is going to be 0 over here, so you can just write 8 plus 8 times minus 2, so it's going to be, it's not going to be plus, it's going to be minus 8 times 2 x minus 2 minus 1. So lastly, let's write this fully, square minus 8, because 1 minus 1 is 0, so there's no point in writing anything else. Oh, by the way, x to the power 0 or anything to the power 0, anything to the power 0 is always 1. Just remember that. Anything to the power 0 is always 1. So if you, even if you have 9 to the power 0, it will be 1. It doesn't matter what it is. Just know anything to the power 0 is 1. So if x is 1, then do we really need to write anything over here? We can just write 1 and it's still going to be 8, right? And now this is the main part. Minus 8 minus 8 minus 2. How much is it going to be? Minus 16. I don't think it's going to be plus 16 minus 3, because minus 2 minus 1 is minus 3, right? So the final value is 3x squared minus 8 plus 16x minus 3, right? So yeah, I hope this video was helpful and that you got rid of all the issues regarding differentiation. But if you still have issues, make sure to comment it down below and I'll reply as soon as possible. You can just DM me on Instagram, or you can just email me the issues you have regarding any math, and I'll solve it right away and clear your understanding further. Anyways, that's all for today. Sayonara and peace out.